Gratitude, taking the risk, being at peace with your decisions, trusting yourself, believing that you have help, is so beneficial for whatever you're trying to endure, whatever you're going to endure, etc. From my experience, content creation builds brands. You know, when you have control over your media, when you have control over your press, you're able to influence and kind of push the message how you choose to. Yeah, content can be used for marketing to generate more sales, but content can also be used to establish a brand, to establish community. Usually, people aren't going on these social media platforms to buy anything, they're going on there to consume. And once they're on these platforms, the influencers, the creators, the brands, the businesses, which knows how to capture their attention, foster their attention, and make it deeper than just a, over the screen type of connection. They're going to be the ones who build enterprises, build really strong brands. They're going to be the ones who make movements. Media is the power right now. It doesn't matter what you do. If you start putting out content and establishing some sort of brand around yourself and your product, your business, your services, etc., you'll be surprised how many more people start to gravitate to you. Social media has made it where we can get to people in an instant. You no longer have to go meet them somewhere and fly all across the country just to meet these people. You can and you will, but there's also a great pool of people who do it just strictly off the internet. All these wars and stuff that's happening across the world, a lot of us wouldn't know about it if it wasn't for press, if it wasn't for the internet, if it wasn't for some sort of media. I always like to say that social media is a tool. It is a networking tool. It is a marketing tool. When you use it as a tool, you'll be surprised what comes from that. The type of things that you can attract, the type of people that you can interact with, the things that you can build strictly around content. Now, when it comes to artists in particular, you guys need to put out content. All your songs, all your beats, all that type of stuff needs to get put into some type of content. I know there's this big debate saying, I wish we could go back to the time where artists didn't need to be TikTokers. Nobody's necessarily asking you to be a TikToker. We're asking you to market your music. That has been around since the beginning of time. Now, the way of marketing always shifts and changes. Before the internet, it had to be the newspaper, billboards, word of mouth, etc. Those things are still here. But there's also a new tool. Once again, social media is a tool that if artists started to use and truly acknowledge, they'll build their brand, build their reputation, and you never know what may come from just simply having a stronger online brand. Word of mouth and in-person connections will always be the strongest marketing that you can do and that you have, right? Now, the second layer behind word of mouth is social media, online presence. It doesn't matter if we're talking about LinkedIn, Twitter, X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. YouTube is very powerful. If you struggle with content creation, if you struggle with, implementing your creativity into a digital format, that's what photographers are for. That's what videographers are for. That's what media companies are for. Press, agencies. There's levels to it. That's what they are for. So you don't have to do it. But if you don't have that upfront investment, if you don't have that upfront capital, or you simply just don't have a homie who's like, bro, I'll do it for you, you need to do it yourself. If you plan on pursuing it as a career, of course, you can make your music and do it as a passion, just do it for the love of it, and you may get the results. I'm not telling you that you have to market your music, but the likelihood of you getting somewhere else or elevating your craft, elevating your presence, elevating your brand and your social presence goes up the moment you pick up your phone. Remember, there's always two sides of the equation. You're either a producer or a consumer. Period, point blank. You can intertwine in between, but it would be preferably in your best interest to be on the producer standpoint if you have any type of brand, music, business, whatever the case may be. Not everybody wants to be a producer in this economy. That is okay. But if you have goals that align with the producer side of things, embrace that. Embrace that producer aspect and that producer headspace in all aspects. If you create music, you can create opportunity, you can create money, you can create knowledge, you can create a whole lot. It's doable. You guys have to be patient with yourself. Just pick your phone up, start recording. Whenever it's musically involved, whenever you have a thought, whenever you have, and show your personality too. Sometimes artists think that the only thing that's going to capture a supporter's attention is their music. Now, you will be surprised how much of that decision is based upon who you are as a person. If they have the access to view you as a person, you know, your characteristics, your personality, the things that you say, how you think, how you interact, that's going to have a direct impact on how they view your music. Once they can get a more of an understanding about the creator, about the artist, the art makes a whole lot more sense. But it's not until they took a second and they started to understand who you were as a creator, artist, brand owner, etc., that they actually start to piece together the pieces necessary for them to make a decision whether or not they were even going to interact with your actual brand. Yeah, there's layers to content. You know, you can do it for fun, you do it for shits and giggles, you can do it for marketing, you can do it for branding, you can do it for whatever you want. And that's why social media is so powerful. You can literally do whatever you want. And the likelihood of you seeing some results kind of goes up by a lot.